Greetings, everyone. So, tonight I wanted to talk to you all about how to tell if you are trauma bonded. And this is from my personal experience. This is based on my research, my extensive research. It's also based on my gut instinct, my intuition, and my perception of what trauma bonding is. Because when you are trauma bonded, you don't realize it. And it definitely, I would have to say, in my opinion, it goes more with like a more dominant, narcissistic, abusive person than it would be a toxic. I suppose it could be just somebody who's a little screwed up. But when I explain it, I'm thinking more of trauma bonding with a more abusive, dominant, domineering, narcissistic person. So the first thing to talk about that I can think of is that when you're in this trauma bond, you don't know it's a trauma bond. You just think that you're in this relationship with this person or that you care about them, which I have to warn the more empathic people, you should be wary of just wearing your heart on your sleeve and caring about everyone, because I know from experience that can get you walked on all over. Can get you abused, used, assaulted, robbed. I mean, we could go on. Because unfortunately, people that are like this, they don't see you in the way that, one, you see yourself. They don't see themselves the way you see them. In fact, I think most times these narcissistic abusers know just what a scum they are. They do. I know Dr. Ramani has talked about that. Ollie Matthews has talked about that. They know deep down what a lowlife they are. So, what I want to warn about first here is, and we all do it, is projecting. Every single one of us does this, whether we're aware of it or not. I do it. But you have to just be aware that you're projecting. Empaths or kind-hearted people are more prone to projecting how they would be in a situation or their loving, compassionate feelings and heart onto somebody that's not even remotely close to who they are, nor do they act or react in the ways that an empath or a kind-hearted person would. If everyone was more aware of how they project onto other people, it would save them so much heartache. And we can do this in a healthy way as well. So projecting is not always bad. It's dangerous when you project how you feel and how you are onto a person who is just simply there to use you, take advantage of you, talk behind your back, use you for an apartment, use you for sex, use you for money, use you to steal something from you, use you for your car usage. I mean, we could go on. Because the way a narcissist is, they don't see people the way you do. They see them as a transaction. And that's how they are going to act. I give them credit though, some of them are very good at tricking people. Because they have been practicing these behaviors for years. By watching other people, by mirroring other people. And mirroring can be healthy and it can be unhealthy. But a narcissist or an abuser, they've learned to mirror you in a very abusive, sick kind of way to get what they want. They might do it like whining to try to like talk you into doing something. They just do really weird things. So the second hint to tell if you are trauma bonded is you're really confused around this person a lot. You don't share it with them, whether it's a boyfriend, whether it's a girlfriend, friend, coworker, boss, whomever. You don't share what you're thinking about to this person, but you're confused because the narrative that they are projecting, well, maybe I shouldn't use project, but the narrative that they're crafting does not add up to what you're seeing. It's really that old thing, you know, action speaks louder than words. Maybe, you know, I'm going to use an easy example. You have a politician, and the politician is going around telling everyone how they're a great family guy, they love their children, they're going to protect their children, and do whatever they can to protect children. But meanwhile, they go home and they beat their wife and their children. That's an extreme example. It's, you know, it's like that old 1980s child television show. One of these things is not like the other. I think that was the Electric Company. Something ain't adding up. Something ain't adding up when you're around this person. All these things that they have told you about their past or their life, maybe their college education, whatever it is, none of it is adding up. And nothing an abuser or a narcissist or a dominant person hates more than to be caught in a lie. They can't stand it. They will wig out. They will just flip the F out. And that's what's called a narcissistic spiral. They will lose their freaking shit, man. You will see them just like, you know, they usually will involve other people, which would mean flying monkeys. Sometimes flying monkeys know, sometimes they don't. To go and repair the damage that has been done to their finely tuned, finely crafted narrative. That's unreal, by the way. It's an illusion. You'll be confused around this person all the time. They'll tell you, let's say, I'm going to use a really easy example. Let's say that all they do all day long is talk about how they love dogs and they will do anything to help a dog that has been abandoned, that has been harmed, that has been mistreated. whatever it is, which, by the way, is virtue signaling. And then you find out that before you met this person, they had some type of a misdemeanor for abusing dogs. And sometimes the evidence is not so clear-cut. And another hint or flag or whatever you want to call it, when you're around this manipulator, this domineering personality, is that you're exhausted. You ain't never been this tired in your life when you're around this person. You don't get the kind of sleep that you used to. Everything's always crazy around this person. People are pissed off at this person all the time. Or let's say that you're a person that's always on time. And now you're hanging around this friend and it never fails. You're always late for everything now. It's like basically that they're a bad influence. They're a bad influence on you. So let's see, we've got the confusion. We've got the exhaustion. We've got the projection. You're either internally projecting how you feel or how you act onto this other individual, or you might be projecting how you feel, how you act, how you would be in a situation onto this other person when you're addressing their behavior or you're addressing a situation which this person is involved in. Which is going to lead into I think this is the fourth one. The fourth clue or hint that you're trauma bonded is you're always having to stand up for this person, or, in some cases it could be an organization. It could be a group of people, but you're always defending this person or this organization constantly. And most specifically, you are protecting this person or organization when there's hard evidence to the contrary of what you're defending. When you're always defending a person, there's a problem. If this new friend of yours, this new boyfriend, this new girlfriend, this new job, this new boss is always having problems with other people, that's a wake-up call for you to say, what's going on here? If it so happens that everybody hates their guts, or maybe not everybody, but just a lot of people, I mean, granted, you're not always going to be everybody's cup of tea. None of us are. But what I mean is, if this particular individual or organization has enemies all over the place, that's time to wake up. What's the problem? You know what the problem is I'm trying to think of the word. I guess, I don't know if this is the right term. The correlating factor is that individual or that organization. Like, for example, Scientology's got all these lawsuits, and they keep getting more. That's a pattern of behavior that, that has escaped out of that organization. Or, let's say you're dating this new guy, right? And he's telling you, how great he is, and that his ex was a freaking psycho, and because that's always the case, by the way. That, let's see, like that his ex-girlfriend or his ex-wife kicked him out, and they're all fucked up, and, they don't care about him, they don't love him, or she doesn't love him, or whatever it is. It's always somebody else's fault. Every single time. It's never their fault. Never, 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 never their fault. And then you find out, let's just say you find out that he was cheating on his girlfriend or something like that. Or maybe he had a drunk driving that he never told you about or something. But the point of it is that you're finding out information that's not adding up to the story that he is professing to you. That is a huge one. If you always constantly have to defend someone, that's a fucking problem. It means you're trauma bonded. How many times have we seen domestically abused women, wives, girlfriends, who are getting the shit kicked out of them every day? Talk about how they love their husband. You know what I mean? That's trauma bond, like, on crack. If you meet someone, let's say you meet a friend, and you've been hanging out with them, let's just say 3 months, because 3 months is a good amount of time to kind of get a grasp on a new individual in your life, a new friend. But since you've made this friend, so many things in your life have completely gone to shit. You've been going out partying with them all the time, which that really wasn't your thing. You've been late for work. You even called in a few times because you drank a little too much. And you just felt bad because you partied the night before with this new friend. You've gotten a warning from your boss or a write-up for being late. You used to go see your mom once a week on Sunday because she lives really close, and that used to be your time with her, and you don't do that anymore. You used to love to take a yoga class twice a week. Stop doing that. This is the beginning of a trauma bond. It's more so that person is influencing you in such a way to drag you down. But if you are accepting that in your life, that's the beginning of a trauma bond. And maybe you allow that in because, I don't know, maybe you feel like it's fun going out partying, but it won't be fun when you lose your job. But if you've been around a person and you look around your life and you see how many negative things have happened since you've been with that person or around them, that's a trauma bond. If you're not able to have a boundary, you don't love yourself enough to get that person out of your life, it's a trauma bond. Let's say you're dating someone, you've been with them for a while, and they started out being really kind to you and nice, and everything was all perfect. Stars were aligned. There was nothing going in a bad way, in a wrong way. And now, let's say you've been with them for a year. Let's just, throw that out there. And now they're very comfortable being mean to you. They throw little digs in here and there. They'll laugh about it. So they want to make you think that it's not a big deal for them to be putting you down. It's like a slow process to get you used to being put down. The simple fact of you allowing that person in your life, that alone is a trauma bond. Because if you care about yourself and you love yourself, like truly love yourself, you'll never allow that kind of stuff in your life. And it takes time to learn it. I've been there, done that. So I don't know, I think that's like the 5th or 6th kind of hint or idea that would tell you you're trauma bonded. If you are nervous being around this person all the time, walking on eggshells, that's a trauma bond. If you have to think about what you would tell them when you get home to explain where you've been, that's 1, it's abuse, and 2, it's a trauma bond. If everything is, when you're talking to this person, and everything is always somebody else's fault, that's a trauma bond. I mean, it's not actually like, it's just telling you that you have a trauma bond. But you don't have enough discernment to see that something's not right. Why is everything everyone else's fault? Why doesn't that person ever take responsibility for themselves? What's the problem? Another way you can tell if you're trauma bonded is if you allow this person to talk to you, treat you in a way that you're not accustomed to being talked to or treated in that way. You're not setting a boundary and walking out and saying, you know what, F yourself. Nobody talks to me like that, which I've done numerous times. I mean, think of the words, right? Just think of, we all have a pretty good idea what trauma is. You have actually, in your mind, in your psyche, developed a bond with that type of trauma. It could be because that's all you know, and you haven't done a lot of work on yourself. Sometimes it's just being ignorant that it's abuse, you know what I mean? So that's about it for now. I just wanted to touch on that today and cover a little bit of how to know if you're trauma bonded. Peace.